Michael Chiesa and Kevin Holland. In the welterweight division, younger and taller and lengthier is Kevin Holland here by a lot in all three categories, coming off the Ponzinibbio knockout, whereas Michael Chiesa came off the Rafael dos Anjos, Neil Magny, and Diego Sanchez decisions while losing to Vicente Luque and Sean Brady. You look at the Vicente Luque one, he was getting outstruck on the feet, went for the takedown, and he got caught with a submission. And the Sean Brady one, he was getting out-wrestled and out-grappled and controlled on the ground. Anthony Pettis, a fluky submission on the ground. Kevin Lee, the same thing. I don't expect any of these fluky submission type of things from Kevin Holland. I know he has some okay jiu-jitsu skills. Darce Tim Means in round number 2, so it's possible. And then he could go out there and submit one of these guys, or submit Michael Chiesa in the fight. Like, Michael Chiesa does get submitted a lot, but I do have a feeling this one goes all the way because I don't really think Kevin Holland wants anything to do with the jiu-jitsu or with the wrestling of Chiesa, because Chiesa is smothering with his control, and ground and pound is just staying on you and weathering and just kind of wearing on you on the ground. I believe Kevin Holland's going to use that height, use that reach, counter Michael Chiesa as he comes in, rock Michael Chiesa a few times as he comes in. Whenever he does hurt Michael Chiesa, Michael's going to shoot some takedowns and survive. I got to go in all the way. Maybe one round to Michael Chiesa if he's able to land that takedown. But overall, I got this one going to Kevin Holland. Should be a fun fight. 29-28 decision. Bobby Green and Tony Ferguson in the lightweight division. I am going to go, sadly, Bobby Green to win a 30-27 decision here. I think Tony, like a lot of people, I think Tony's kind of off his, out of his prime, off his prime situation. He lost to Gaethje very dominantly, and took a lot of damage in that one. Got controlled by Oliveira, controlled by Dariush. A lot of submission attempts from Oliveira that he survives. Then he took a lot of damage from Michael Chandler with that front kick to the face, but was able to still land some good shots. I believe Tony will have a few moments here where maybe he lands a few shots that clip Bobby Green on the feet. But I think Bobby Green is going to have more of those moments because Tony's a lot slower than he once was. When he comes in to land whatever shots he's trying to land, when he's trying to go for Eminari rolls and crazy stuff, he's going to do it a lot slower than he usually does, leaving openings for Bobby Green to land as Tony Ferguson is coming in. But Bobby Green isn't necessarily the most powerful guy in the UFC's lightweight division. Did knock out Ale Aquinta, but other than that, he has not had a single knockout win for the past 10 years. For the past 10 years, it was only the Ale Aquinta one. So personally, I think he survives to the decision. I think Bobby Green outstrikes him at range. When he comes in with his slow strikes, Bobby's just going to jab and 1-2 him and out-volume him for 3 straight rounds. Bobby Green by unanimous decision. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Michel Pereira in the welterweight division. I think Michel Pereira, Stephen Thompson is at least minimum top 3 best fights on this card for UFC 291. It is hard to be at the top of the list with Poirier and Gaethje on the card as well, but this is a banger nonetheless. Prime 29-year-old Michel Pereira with a lot of experience. I'm talking, what is that? Let's do a quick math here. 39 professional MMA fights. He is taller than Steven, not as lengthy as Steven, but he's got power, he's got speed, he's got elusiveness, able to beat Chaos Williams in the striking, able to beat Nico Price in the striking, able to outstrike Andre Fialio and Santiago Ponzinibbio as well. But he hasn't had a knockout inside of the UFC in a very, very long time. The last one was Danny Roberts in his UFC debut when he landed that flying knee. Since then, he has not been able to land any sort of knockout shot in the UFC, and if that's the case, Steven is going to have his time closing in that distance and coming in and out with his karate stance, landing good jabs, landing good side kicks to the body of Michel, and just working Michel at range. It's going to be really fun. Michel's going to come forward with crazy kicks, crazy jumping stuff, front flip, back flips, all of the goodies. And Steven's just going to stay composed and counter and counter and counter as Michel comes in. Seems like a very self-explanatory one. Michel isn't a type of guy that gets knocked out very often. The last one was Dusko Todorovic, up a weight class on short notice. I highly doubt that's going to happen again. That is his only knockout loss. I got this one going all the way. Stephen Thompson by a decision. Banger. Jan Blachowicz and Alex Pereira. Winner is going to get a title shot next. Age advantage going Alex Pereira. Height and reach advantage going Alex Pereira. Size advantage? I don't really know. Pereira is moving up from middleweight to light heavyweight. But still, he could be bigger than Jan Blachowicz because he's just that big of a UFC middleweight. Obviously, wrestling and grappling goes Jan Blachowicz. Striking is going Alex Pereira. So this one is going to come down pretty much to, can Jan Blachowicz go out there and get the takedown? He very well can, but the more and more time that elapses, and the more that Alex Pereira continues to train with Glover Teixeira with the wrestling and grappling, the more and more I start to think that a 40-year-old Jan Blachowicz's chin might be a little bit different than it once was. I mean, he didn't take a lot of big punches from Magomed Ankalaev in their fight. Didn't take a lot of big punches from Alexander Rakic. He's going to take a lot of big punches here from Alex Pereira in this fight. Obviously, I think he's going to go out there, land some good takedowns of his own, and have some good control time, good ground and pound, maybe some submission attempts. But I think Alex Pereira is going to use his size, his strength to get back up on a few of those takedown attempts and land the bigger shots on Jan Blachowicz. It's not going to be a confident prediction at all, as you're going to see with a confident picks video, considering Jan has only been knocked out 2 times in his professional MMA career by Thiago Santos about 4 years ago and Ramil Fieri Socodito like 12 years ago. I think this one has a good chance of going all the way and maybe a grinding, controlling decision win from Jan Blachowicz. But I think what the UFC gods want is an Alex Pereira catching Jan as he comes in, and then Jiří Procházka entering the cage for a vacant light heavyweight title fight. Alex Pereira, Jiří Procházka, UFC 297, 2024. Would be absolutely amazing. I think that'd be a banger. And Jan Blachowicz, if he wins, I don't actually think he'll get the title fight. I think they might actually schedule a Magomed Ankalaev Jan Blachowicz rematch, considering that one was a draw. But if Pereira wins, it's a no-brainer. He's getting the title fight. Should be very interesting. My original prediction was Blachowicz just to control and just hold him on the ground for 3 straight rounds, but the MMA gods want what they want, and that's a knockout from Alex Pereira. Should be a good one nonetheless. Pereira TKO. Dustin the Diamond Poirier and Justin Gaethje for the vacant UFC Bantamweight MF belt. I'm just kidding. The Bad Mofo belt in the 155-pound weight class. This is a rematch from a very long time ago. If you remember their first fight, it was a good long time ago, about 5 years ago, in the main event UFC on Fox 29. In Glendale, Arizona, went all the way to round number 4. It was a 50-50 fight on the betting odds, but Poirier landed a deadly combination at the beginning of round 4, landed on the chin of Justin Gaethje, a few more ground and pound shots, and that fight was over. But after that, Gaethje went on a tear, destroying James Vick in round number 1, destroying Edson Barboza in round 1, destroying Donald Cerrone in round 4, absolutely dominating Tony Ferguson for 5 straight rounds, except for that uppercut. Getting the title shot, losing, fight of the night with Michael Chandler, maybe even fight of the year, landing and dropping the champ Charles Oliveira, losing that one, and then coming back to a fight of the night win on Rafael Fiziev. He's had a little bit of an up and down career since that first one to Dustin Poirier, but the same thing could be said for him. After that Gaethje won, he beat 2 former champs in a row, fought for the belt, lost, went on a win streak, lost to the champ again, and then had a banger of a fight at UFC 281. And now we have the fight of the night in the main event, Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje. And I will believe, I'm not going to go out here and say this is going to be 5 rounds of striking. I don't believe that. I don't believe this is going to be 5 rounds of striking. I think that Poirier is going to try to be smart here and try to mix in some wrestling and some jiu-jitsu. Not to absolutely dominate and control the fight on the ground, but when he hurts Justin Gaethje on the feet, I do believe there's going to be some takedowns and jiu-jitsu mixed in. A few minutes here and there, not a whole lot, but for the majority of this fight, it's going to be striking. Like, that's the main case here, is the majority, 90-80% of this fight is going to be a striking fight, and Gaethje, I think, is going to win early. Michael Chandler was able to win that round number 1 on Dustin Poirier, looked pretty good in there. Conor McGregor was the same thing. Poirier doesn't really do good in round number 1. Gaethje does good every round, and is able to just go out there and land some really, really big shots and hurt you early on in the fight. And I think Gaethje goes out there round 1 a little bit like a bat out of hell and rocks Poirier on the feet, hurts him a little bit. And then that round's going to end. It's going to come into round number 2, and Poirier is going to make it a little bit of a slower fight. He's going to be like, I cannot get hurt again. I'm down a round. I need to get my round back. And I think that time, he's going to catch Justin Gaethje as he's coming in. Gaethje's going to come in and land the same shot, and Poirier is going to catch him coming in. He's going to go down to round number 3. It's going to be 1-1. Round 1, Gaethje hurts Poirier, and it's a really good round. Round 2, Poirier catches Gaethje as he comes in, and it goes to round number 3. And round 3, I don't think either man will get wobbled. At that point, they're going to take it a little bit slower, pick it up as that round goes on. I don't think either guy wobbles in round number 3. I just think it's going to be a technical one, where at that point, Gaethje is going to be like, I got to start landing more leg kicks. And I think he's really going to start to pour on the pressure with those leg kicks on Poirier. The punches are going to be even, but I think the leg kicks are what are going to give Justin Gaethje the advantage. In round number 3, I think they give Gaethje round number 3. And at that point, Poirier needs to win the rounds. Round number 4 and round number 5, or get a finish if he wants to win this fight. And in round number 4, I think again, Poirier rocks Justin Gaethje, just like their last fight in round number 4. And people are going to be like, oh my gosh, are we about to see another Poirier round 4 KO? And then Gaethje survives, and we have it 2-2 entering the final round. Round 1 goes to Gaethje. Round 2 to Poirier. Round 3 to Gaethje. Round 4 to Poirier. And round 5, they are bloodied. They are battered. They come forward, and Gaethje walks right into some counters from Poirier. Still pressuring forward. Poirier's countering. Gaethje's coming in. Gaethje's landing some good shots. Still landing big leg kicks at range. And I do believe one of the judges will give that final round number 5 to Justin Gaethje. One of them will give it to Dustin Poirier, and the other one will give it to Dustin Poirier. I think we're going to have an up and down, back and forth, absolute war. Round 1, Gaethje rocks Poirier. Round 2, Poirier rocks Gaethje. Round 3, Gaethje outlands Poirier with the kicks and wins that round. Round 4, Poirier rocks Gaethje. And round 5, I don't think either man gets rocked, but they both land some good shots, and pressure in is Gaethje coming forward, landing some big shots. Poirier countering as he's coming in, checking the leg kicks of Gaethje. Gaethje going hard and landing the leg kicks of his own. And it's a really, really close fight. Round 5 could go either way, but nobody's going to care because of how much of an absolute banger it is in the lightweight division. And I do believe they give that to Poirier. I think they give that to Poirier. And Islam Makhachev beats Oliveira at UFC 294. And I think we do Poirier versus Islam Makhachev in 2024. It's going to be a fight of the night. It is going to be a banger. What do y'all think? Poirier Gaethje rematch.